Kelly file exclusive. Deb Jordahl and her son Adam Jordahl. They say their home was raided with the approval of Milwaukee, Wisconsin prosecutors. Deb Jordahl is a principal at Johnson Jordahl Strategic Communications, and that was once they once had Scott Walker as one of their clients. Deb and Adam, good evening. Good to have you with us tonight. You know, I read through the details of your story. It's a shocking story. It's a head scratcher. I think people will read it and hear it and say, you know, how could this possibly happen in the United States of America? But Deb, let me start with you. Give me the sort of, you know, brief version of what happened that night.
Well, it was actually 6 o'clock in the morning. It was still dark out, and I saw lights out in the yard. I heard noise, and shortly after that, the doorbell rang. And a Dane County deputy sheriff was at the door. She walked into the foyer. She said, everything's okay. We have a warrant to search the house. She asked about Adam. She didn't realize we also had a daughter. And she followed me upstairs. I asked if I could go into my kids' room by myself to wake them up, and she followed me right in there. So when they woke up, they saw an armed deputy standing next to their bed. All
right, so let me just jump in here for a second. Did you have any idea why they were there at your house?
No, none.
Nothing
at the
at
time
all.
That she came in and she said, you know, everything's okay, meaning, you know, nobody's dead, you know, we're not here because of an emergency. She said we have a warrant to search the house, and she wanted to gather everybody together before she read the warrant to us. So we went upstairs and got the kids, and we were all corralled into our family room. She read the warrant to us, and I do want to clarify, she told right in the warrant was the gag order, and it said that we couldn't talk to anybody about the investigation, about the raid at all, except a lawyer. And it was after she had read the warrant and I said that I wanted to call a lawyer that she told me I couldn't. And
so at this point, are you putting together any of, you know, sort of, well, I've done work with Scott Walker. There's a huge battle going on in the state right now. They're probably trying to figure out if I'm behind that or if I'm fighting against this Act 10 or these union actions that are going on in the state. Did you already have an inkling that things were potentially getting ugly because of your support of this group?
Well, what was shocking, Martha, was that this was an investigation that started in 2005 over a county veterans fund, and it was 2013. We had already been through the recall campaign. We'd been through the original, you know, election, and all of a sudden they were investigating us allegedly for things that we did in the 2011 and 2012 recall. So we had no idea. Right. These John Doe investigations are conducted completely in secret, and we're not, you know, aside from what's in the warrant, we're really not even allowed to know what it is they suspect us of doing.
Yeah.
And we had
you
to
know,
sue.
I understand we were almost out of time, but I want to ask Adam a quick question. Adam, you know, some people say it didn't happen. You heard that in the report. How can you prove that it did?
Because some of my friends at school saw it happen. You know, I mean, you can't have 4 or 5, you know, police cars outside your house at 6 in the morning without getting some questions about it later. So as soon as I got to school, a few people were asking me, you know, are you okay? Is your family all right? Like, what happened? And all I could say to them was, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you anything.
We saw this kind of investigation with the IRS situation, and it appears to be something of the same ilk in a very strong response. Thank you very much. More to come on that story.